What up, what up, what up, good people? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
We need a theme song, guys, because that's not it. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brooks.
Brooks's.
Brooks's.
It's the Brooks. It's the, you gotta have the S with the apostrophe on the end.
Brooks's.
No, Brooks. What's happening, everybody? I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. Super excited about being here. I have missed you.
I've missed you too.
It's been 3.5, maybe 4 days?
4 days.
4 days since I last saw the beautiful, lovely
Cherie Brooks Jr., author, speaker, relationship, and life balance coach.
with the red lips. With the red lips.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. What's
up?
Great
to see you guys this morning.
Good to see you, Tiara. How you feeling? You good?
I actually got to Atlanta last night, and it was not hot.
It wasn't hot in Hotlanta. That's because it was hot all week.
It's because I was coming, so
it cooled down. It was 91 degrees one day this week.
I'll probably regret saying this. It'll probably be blazing.
Right, and here's the crazy thing. One day it was like 90, but the humidity had to be on like 120.
Yeah, it was like when we did the MAPS meetup in Hampton Roads.
Yes, exactly. What's up, Sydney? Good to see you.
And felt like 120.
Right, absolutely.
But speaking of MAPS
and
MAPS meetups, we're doing a MAPS meetup here in Atlanta.
On Sunday. So listen, if you are in the Atlanta metro and you're watching this by replay, maybe you're catching it just in time on Sunday, tomorrow, as we're broadcasting live, we are going to be doing a MAPS meetup downtown Atlanta. We will definitely be dropping the links in this feed. So watch this news feed, watch this. I'm gonna repost this stuff and put it in there, but we're gonna give you the exact address. We certainly would love to meet and greet with you. It's gonna be a social event, nothing formal, just bring your kids. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be hooking up with our friend C-Dog.
Right, who's one of the pastors at Blueprint Church, and they're doing church in the park this Sunday, and he invited us to join them. And so we're inviting you to join us there.
Absolutely. And he told us that you didn't have to bring no food. Now, I don't know if that was just us or if that's like, y'all do me a favor.
If you're bringing your whole crew, you might want to
bring a couple pieces of chicken. You know what I'm saying? A couple something, just a little something, make sure that the food don't run out. Because see, here's how it works. When you do the church in the park events and you tell people, come on, there's plenty for everybody. The problem is that Nene and them going to get they first. And then when they get there first, they're going to bring all the Bebe's kids with them. And then as soon as that happens, you're going to come in, Johnny come 30 minutes lately, and it ain't going to be no food. So make sure that you bring something. Guys, for those of you who are just popping in, good morning. What's up, Marcus? Good to see you, good brother. I'm super excited. We are broadcasting live from Atlanta, not far from where we've lived. Here we're in an Airbnb today, and so I just kind of think that that's cool that we're stretching out a little bit, you know what I'm saying, doing some different things. But today we're going to talk about some things I think, babe, is going to really help people. And if you are excited about learning how to make relationships last, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you want to know just a few secrets and tips on how to make relationships last. Now, this will work for marriages. This will work for couples relationships. It'll also work for when you are dating and when you are in relationship with people. I find that there are people who are friends for years. And maybe they were childhood friends or they're growing up, or maybe they're coworkers, and they formed a really great friendship only to watch it fizzle over time. And then you wonder, well, what happened? Why did that happen? What's going on, Coach Mike? Good to see you, brother. Why is that happening? And I think that unfortunately, Cherie, there are some things that people are not doing. It's not what you are doing. Listen to me very carefully, guys. Many times it's not what you are doing. A lot of times it's what you're not doing. It's what you don't see. And so we want to talk about that just a little bit.
Right. Oftentimes, people are in relationships and you just start going through the motions. And, it's really simple if you think about the things that you did before you got married or when you first started dating to be able to build that relationship. You have to continue doing those things even once you're into the relationship. So
before we jump into our content for today, I see the ones. Thanks, Sidna. Thanks, Tiara. Appreciate that, Coach Mike. It absolutely works for families too. We want to talk to you guys. Speaking of family, if you are looking to build community, if you are a person who is saying, you know what, I need some help. I've been doing this a minute. I've not been doing everything right, I don't think, because stuff ain't working. We want to encourage you to come join the Marriages and Parenting Successfully Relationship Academy. It's an academy where Cherie and I, we founded it over a year ago. And what we do is group coaching. We do it for 4 separate groups, 4 separate kinds of people. And I really am excited about what we're doing.
Right. We have MAPS Couples that meets on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Then we have MAPS Parents that meets at 8:30. MAPS Couples meets at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
MAPS Parents meets at 8:30 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then we do the MAPS Ladies every first and third Thursday at 7 p.m. And the MAPS Men meet every Sunday at 7 p.m.
So what we want to do is encourage you that if you're not a part of a community of people who are doing what it is that you're trying to do, that's important.
Yes.
People think that you can just kind of go about things and just do them haphazardly and get extraordinary results. And it's not happening. It ain't happening in your relationships. It's not happening in your health. It's not happening in your finances. It's not happening in your whatever, your mindset, whatever. If you don't have community, you're not going to make it. So we want to help you find a tribe. And if you're so inclined, you want to join us or hook up. What you doing, Boo? You fixing it? I like the little bun thing going on. Y'all see how my ADD just kicked in? She was moving her hand, and I totally got off subject because I like that.
Is this gray or is it lint?
No, that's gray, Boo. That's a straight steel gray. Almost, what matter of fact, I think it's white.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
You should get more of them. Anyway, so look, guys, if you're interested in joining MAPS, please catch up with us. Also, if you are a replay viewer and or if you're a viewer and you want to catch the replays of all of our Breakfast with the Brooks, there she goes with the pointer thing. Come on. What are you doing? Anyway, if you want to catch the replay, subscribe to our You can't get it out.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/
/ You got to say the forward
/ the CR Coach.
Yeah, youtube.com / the CR Coach. That's where you can catch all of our replays.
Please subscribe.
Please, somebody come help Cherie because she just got off a plane late last night and we feeling it this morning. So this morning we're going to talk about 3 secrets to making the relationship last. Cherie, I am specific when I'm talking about relationships in general. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about couples things. Right. We're going to talk about parenting things, but I want y'all to hear this is across the board. When it comes to any kind of relationship, if you want it to last, we're going to share 3 secrets today on what they are. And I think that where I'd like to start, babe, is what doesn't work. Hey, Nikki, good to see you. Just popped in. Nikki just popped in.
Hey, Nick.
We get ready to see your girl, Linda Lee and Antonio. Oh, speaking of which, guys, y'all listen, before we go to the 3 secrets today, listen to me, mark your calendar for today at 1 p.m. We are going to be live on TV. Yeah. Yeah, like real TV. So I'm super excited. And there is a huge surprise that's going to be unveiled. And we're going to be doing some different. It ain't a surprise. They didn't told everybody. Okay. So Linda Lee and Antonio Lee, members of our MAPS community, are renewing their vows. They've been married 32 years. Can we give up some love for 32 years in the game? Oh, I love that sound effect, babe. I love it. Look, I'm telling you right now, I am super excited. What's up, Joy? Miss you, sweetie. Good to see you. So we are super excited because at 1 o'clock today, not only are we going to get interviewed on Linda's show, it's called Straight from the Heart, and we'll put the link to where you can go a little bit later on this morning to watch that and to view that. But it's going to be on TV, and we are going to renew their vows. So I have been asked, I'm going to officiate the renewing of the vows. You and I ain't renewing nothing, not yet. We get ready to come up on a renewal, and we get ready to build that right up. Yeah. But anyway, it's their renewal, 32 years in the game. They are our veterans in the MAPS community.
Our very good friends.
Our very good friends. They sit in for us when we're not there. And so we're just excited to be able to share in the success. And so It actually inspired, to be honest with you, today's talk, because I really got to thinking about like 32 years, man. That's a long time. You feel me, guys? That's a long time. Like 32 years. You look at, okay, so let's think about 32 years. That's retirement longevity. 32 years is enough for a child to grow up, complete their master's, and go on and you can get a doctorate degree in 32 years. Mm-hmm. Like 32 years is a long time. How in the world do people hang in there and still have something in the tank after 32 years? It's
not because of love.
Nope.
Love is not enough.
Nope. That's the news. That's a breaking news.
Love is not enough to make your marriage last.
Wow. Look, somebody saying, are you serious right now? Like, really? Nah, really, guys. We're going to give you.
Fades.
Let me tell you something, especially if you're not trafficking in the right kind of love and you don't know how to love.
Right.
Love ain't enough.
Right.
Now, this is coming from two people who understand what it looks like to be in failed relationships.
Right. And the problem is people always say you fall in love. Remember, if you can fall in love, you can fall out of love.
Right.
That's why, like Glenn said, you have to have the right kind of love. It's not that physical, that erotic love, that fades.
That stuff fades. Listen, guys. We ain't gonna get into that's not a part of the talk today, but I'm gonna tell you this. Love ain't enough. So 32 years in the game. What in the world helps somebody to make it that long? So today, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think for them and for many couples, number one, which takes us to our first point tonight.
Well,
today is to focus on values. Focus on your values.
Okay, so listen, guys, really quickly, we're talking about the 3 secrets to making the relationship work. And many of you already put your one in, and Tierra says, teach us. We will teach you, no problem. Number 1, I want you to write this down. Focus on value. What do we mean when we say focus on value?
Focus on your values means what is it that you value? What are those things at your heart that mean the most to you?
Yes.
And you have to have mutual values. It's not so much having mutual interest. Like we could both like football, but us liking football is not going to help our relationship when we're going through tough times. But if we both value family, if we both value fun, if we both value quality time, whatever we value, if we both value that's something mutual that we can hold on to, and that becomes part of the foundation. Having a mutual value that you both value your relationship with God, you both value spirituality.
Right.
That becomes the bedrock of your relationship.
I like that word bedrock, Cherie, and I want people to understand this, guys. It is not the mutual interests of a relationship that sustains it.
Right.
It is not the mutual interests of a relationship that sustains it. It is the mutual values. And when we talk about values, we're talking about things that are deep seated. Cherie said the word bedrock. When you think about bedrock says foundation.
Right.
And at your foundation level of your relationship, the question becomes, what are you holding on to? What is your relationship built on? Now, there are a lot of spiritual people who say, well, you need God in your life and you need God in your relationship. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If you have 2 people who both do not value spirituality, they still can make their relationship work because they have a mutual value.
Right.
If you have one person that values spirituality, values their relationship with God, values their walk in Christ, but the other one doesn't, you got a problem in your relationship. And so it's not just the God part. It is, are you mutually on that page? There are people who mutually love rock climbing. Right? Just rock climbing. That's what they do. We met a couple years ago, had an opportunity to mentor them years ago, who both valued outdoor activity.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, that became the foundational building block for their relationship. And to this day, they have gone through their ups and their downs in marriage. They're still fighting through the crazy with children, the whole bit. They're much older. This was over 20 years ago. We had the chance to mentor these guys, and they're still trugging along, and they're having a successful time because their bedrock is solid.
Right.
They always can go back to the thing that they both value.
Right. And that, like I said, that centers you. That's a place that you can, even in the hard times, you both can go back to that place because there's a mutual value. And so you can go back to that value and hold on to that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that brings you back together when you're going through rough times.
Yeah. If you got a person in your life and they value integrity and you don't, when I say that, they're the kind of person, they're rules people and you're not a rules person. You know, they're black and white people. You're more of a gray person. They are kind of destination thinking people. You're more of a journey thinking person. You guys' values are off.
Right.
Something is off kilter. And what I would suggest, and this is some of the things that we talk about in our MAPS coaching academy, we teach people how to build those, how to, first of all, identify where they are and then begin to move closer to figuring out how do we begin to share values. I may never embrace completely the things that you value the most. However, because of my love and respect, and I want to honor you, I will figure out how can I move closer to the line of what it is that you value so that we can begin sharing some values. So I'll use rock climbing, for instance. I may not be a physical person. She may be the rock climber. But if I'm not into climbing the rocks, I could be the person that holds the ropes. And now I'm going to do the belaying thing and I'm going to hold the ropes while she climbs.
Right.
Does that make sense? Right. And so together we're spending time and we're doing that. But I don't necessarily value the actual rock climbing part of it.
Right. And I think the part of that, I think you do want to learn to appreciate each other's values that you do have different. But I think that at the core of a successful relation, you have to have at least one or two things that you do have mutual value.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Everything can't be, I'm just going to appreciate this because that's something you value. There has to be something
I agree.
that you both value, that you both
100%.
deem important. That's going to be the bedrock. But then in regard to those other things that you value, you'd have to learn to appreciate the other party's values in those other areas.
Absolutely.
And be able to accept that because you are going to have some differences.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're not going to be able to share values on every single thing, but there are some mutual values that when y'all come together, you both kind of just, that's who you are.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I know there's some people right now, they just are fun people. Like that's what they value. And they discovered each other having fun. I know couples who are together that discovered one another because they met up on a dance floor, quite literally. That's what they both individually value.
Right.
They were at an event. They were dancing. They caught eyes. They started dancing together. They started talking. Before you know it, they had mutual interest. Yes. But then they got deeper and realized, wait a minute, we value some of the same things. And now they're married.
And they still dancing today.
And they still dancing today, right? Like if I started dropping names, you'd be like, yeah, I know those people too. But the truth of the matter is that they figured out what they both mutually valued and they started building on it. So we're talking about, for those who are maybe just jumping in on the replay, is three secrets to making the relationship last. If you're ready for number 2, put a number 2 in the chat. If you're ready for number 2, put a number 2 in the chat.
Right. While you guys are doing that, just want to go to a comment real quick. Nikki commented, said, having a few differences just spices things up, but these shouldn't outweigh the mutual values. That is so very true, Nikki. That's so true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that, Nikki, because the other part of it is that if you're not careful, I got you. If you're not careful, guys, what will happen is that you'll focus so much on those differences and you'll allow those differences to drive a wedge.
Right.
And when your differences drive a wedge, what's happening is that you're now focusing on the wrong thing. Our differences actually draw us closer because there's a value that we find in our differences.
Right.
I'll give you a quick example. Cherie is very detailed, very dot the I's, cross the T's kind of person. I am the exact opposite. But listen to me very carefully. I'm gonna mess your head up. My first wife was the exact same way. The question is, why could I not make it work with her? But with Cherie, we have now thrived. Same kind of makeup.
Right.
They both were eye dotters, T crossers, right? But for some reason, and I'm going to tell you why, it didn't work 12 years in for me the first time around.
Right.
You know why? Because I would never embrace that.
Right.
There was something I would rail against the eye dotters. I don't like T crossers. Like, why are you so rigid? You get what I'm saying? Well, by the time I got with Cherie, I recognized in the gap, started doing some work on myself. And I recognized, Glenn, that's not their problem. That's your problem. That's who they are. And so the truth is, until you embrace who they are at their core, you're never going to be able to move closer to them. I need y'all to hear that. And so this is all about, Cherie, people embracing the differences and embracing those kinds of things. So I know that got a little bit off of the three secrets, but Nikki is saying yes. So hopefully that helps somebody. If you're ready for number two, drop a number two. I think I saw somebody drop in a number two. Did Nikki drop? Danielle, what's up, Danielle? It's good to see you, sweetie. Hope to see you and Angelina tomorrow. We're going to drop the directions, the address, and all that good stuff. We're going to drop that in the feed today. And so I want you to appreciate that, Tanya. Thank you so much. She said that was good. So it's cool. So we got some number two. So, okay, sitting there saying, come on, man, let's go. I love it. We ain't got all day. Okay, so here's number two, guys. Spend time. Spend time. I'm going to say it again. Spend time. I'm going to say it again. Spend time. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm a little wound up. It's the coffee.
Yeah. Spending time is essential in any relationship, whether it's with your children, whether it's with family, whether it's with your spouse. You have to spend time with a person to build and to continue to foster a relationship.
Please say that again.
You have to continue to spend time with the person to continue to build and to foster that relationship. So even with your children, just because you have children, don't assume you just have a relationship with them.
That's good.
You need to spend quality time with them. If you have 3 or 4 children, you need to spend time with each child to foster a independent, individual relationship with each child. With your family, in order to have a solid relationship with your family members, you have to spend time. You know, you can't just, they my family, that's my folks, and you just go around. You'll notice there'll be a disconnect if you're not spending quality time with people, and especially in marriages and relationships. If you don't continue to invest that time, you can't get so caught up in going through the rigors of daily life that you guys become roommates for all intents and purposes because you're not spending time. You're just ships passing
in the night,
because you're coming and going. You're doing what you got to do. It's like, hey, but y'all don't spend time. You have to make time. I don't care if it's Saturday morning. Y'all decide y'all going to just lay in the bed and just chill on Saturday mornings.
When we lived here in Georgia, and it's funny because this Airbnb that we're staying in is a basement apartment, right? And so we lived in a basement apartment during for a period of time when we were in Georgia. And it kind of reminds us of the same kind of environment. During that time, that's when we were looking into buying an RV.
Right.
And our dream, it's still our dream and an aspiration of ours at some point to have an RV and do a lot of traveling and that across the country. And I see us doing breakfast with the Brookses in different cities all over the country, right? And the truth from our RV, the truth is that we would sit and we would watch YouTube videos for hours on Saturday morning. Like it would start at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We're up and it's 9 o'clock in the morning and we're still watching YouTube videos on RV.
Right. We would just lay in the bed on Saturday morning and dream together. Dream about what could this look like? What were our hopes? What were our aspirations? But that was us spending time.
Absolutely.
We both had very busy schedules during the week. I was still in school at the time then. Gosh, I'm still in school now.
God bless you. But you're only 5 classes away. Is it 5?
I'm not even counting classes anymore because they keep changing on me. Anyway, hopefully I'll be
hit the reset button.
One day. I'll be finished. But we just had really busy schedules during the week. And so we had to make time. And so Saturdays was our day, but we would start off Saturday really just chill and just spend time. And then, and
then we found ourselves at RV shows. Like I'm telling you right now, y'all, it was hilarious. You got all these people who grew up in rural America. We didn't. And they riding around talking about how you like that one. And I'm sitting up there saying, well, and we meeting friends. We have friends today
that we met
at RV shows that we still kick it with,
right?
Because of us spending time. Does that make sense? So y'all see how relationships, not only do they grow, but they birth things when you spend time. And so I just want to help you guys understand that. So number one, we're talking about the 3 secrets to making the relationship last. And I want to make this very clear. This is relationships across the board, guys.
Right.
This is not just marriages. This is not just dating. This is not just parenting. This is not just your coworkers. This is not just you and your boss. This is relationships in general. When you do these three different things, you will get longevity. I promise you.
Right. And I just want to go back real quick on us talking about spending time. You know, we were talking about in relationships and couples, but also with your family. And one thing that I've been blessed with the opportunity with us when we relocated to Virginia, because of my parents' health, I've been able to rebuild and really foster a relationship with my mother because we spend time.
Yeah.
Pretty much every Saturday we go out and we just hang out.
Yeah.
It's just going, running errands, whatever. But spending that time with my mother has helped us to rebuild a relationship that I never really had with my mom.
So really it's building
a relationship, right, that I never really had with her. And so today we have a relationship, a real relationship.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, my parents were old school, so they ain't have relationships with their kids. You my child.
Yeah, you my child. Just go sit down.
Right. You know? But we have a relationship today because I've chosen to spend that time with her. Absolutely. And, you know, it definitely has its benefits.
No, I agree. So I always say that there's an intrinsic value in spending time. And again, this is not, listen to me, guys. It's not quality or quantity. It's both.
Right.
It's not quality versus quantity. It's both. It's not either or. It's actually both and.
Right.
There are times and seasons in our lives where we've had the time to spend quantity time. Mm-hmm. But then there are times and seasons in our life where we don't have as much quantity. So each moment has to really quality. Count. And so it has to be quality. I want y'all to focus on, how do I do both?
Right.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so if you're ready for number three, put a 3 in the chat. Please, somebody tell me they're ready for number 3. Because if not, I'm going to keep talking about number 2. Because I got 15 more points. So I could just stay on number 2. Joy said intrinsic. Yeah, that's the word of the day, Joy. Do me a favor. Look up the definition of that and post that in the group for us really quickly.
Why are you giving people homework assignments?
No, I'm just going to have Joy help other people because Joy and I understand there's this big word thing that we got going on. And so I just want to make sure I don't have time to define it for folks. So somebody saying 3. Tanya said 3. Come on, bro. What are you doing? Give me number 3. I love it.
And number 3
is find or build a tribe. What's up, Nikita?
You need a community.
You need it.
You need a community. You cannot survive life alone.
Guys, listen to me very carefully. When we say community, what we are not saying is your family. What we are not saying is your girlfriends. What we are not saying are your bros, your dudes, your boys. What we're not saying is your church family. What we're not saying is your coworkers. What we're not saying is this just keeps going on and on. That is more family and more life. You get those people by default because you just show up. You just show up to work. You meet somebody and then y'all are coworkers. That's not necessarily part of your tribe.
Right. When you're building a tribe, it's intentional. These are people that can pour into you, that can add value to you, that, are like-minded.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes,
please say that word again.
Are like-minded. Because oftentimes our friends ain't necessarily.
We love them.
We not necessarily like them. You guys may have grown up together. You developed a relationship as being associates, but you may have very different views on some very important things. Mm. Your tribe needs to be a group of people that share the same values, that are going in the same direction that you're going in life. And so you guys can travel this journey together. And so, like for us in the MAPS Relationship Academy, this is a group of people that have come together that are focused on building and growing their relationships, whether it's their marriages or their parenting relationships. That is their focus. That is their goal. That's what they're trying to do. They want to focus on it. They want to invest in themselves and invest in their relationships. So that is that tribe. We also have a tribe of other people that are on that same page, that are more mature than us, or that are mature in that help to hold us accountable,
absolutely,
to keep us accountable, that have a level of wisdom that they can pour into us, because we're not the end all be all.
Right.
We realize that. And so we have to be fed as well in order for us to be able to give to other people.
And so we built that tribe. That's not a tribe that we just kind of fell into. And right. That's the point. The point is that when you find, that means you're looking. listen, when you are seeking something, you will find it.
Right. You know,
the problem is most of us, we're not seeking to build or to find anything, and we're just kind of meandering through life in our relationship.
Right. Like if you think about, you know, back in the day, people would tell you at work, you know, you want to get a mentor at work. You want to align yourself with people in upper management to help you to be able to grow, to go to that next level. It's the same thing in life. You want to align yourself with people that are just a little bit ahead of you that can help bring you along.
Right.
You know, the thing, and Glenn always says this, and I don't remember who you got it from, but if I'm the smartest person in the room, that's a problem. I need to be around other people that are smarter than me.
Yep.
That can help me to continue to grow. Because if I'm in a room with a bunch of people that are on the same level as me always, I'm never going to grow.
Absolutely. And
I'm going to become stagnant.
I think, unfortunately, when it comes to finding or building a tribe, Cherie, what we realize is that many of us don't have the skill set to pull that off. And that's why you don't do it. It's not because you don't want to. It's not because, I don't think it's because sometimes you don't feel that there's a need to. I think that there's some skill sets that you lack. For instance, you're not the greatest communicator in the world, so you don't know how to tell people what it is that you need. Have you ever been in a situation where you're overwhelmed and someone comes along and they say, "How can I help you?" And you're almost at a loss for words? You're almost stuck. You're like a deer in the headlights saying, I know I need help, but I can't even articulate how I need you to help me. And that's because your skills in that area have not been honed. That's why it's incredibly important for you to be able to find people around you that have leveled up in an area that you would like to go to. And so when we talk about relationships, when we talk about, listen, I have a community, a tribe, that is specifically put together to help me build my business. Mm-hmm. I went out and I found that tribe, and I invested and still am investing real money every month to be a part of that community. Why? Because there's some intrinsic value there in that community that I need. Right. And if I don't get it, my business will fail. Newsflash. By nature, I'm not a detailed person. I'm not a businessman in terms of how I think. I'm the creator person. I'm the person that creates products. I'm the person that will give the business thinking person something to sell, something to market. That's what I do. I needed to get around people who were opposite than me that could help me, because when you're an entrepreneur and you're in business for yourself, the truth of the matter is you need to be kind of good at a lot of things. And I recognize I was only really great at maybe 3 or 4 things, and that wasn't enough to build a successful business. Right. So what do I know? I need to go find me and build me a tribe. Right, right. And I think it takes you being willing to, you got to look at it as investing in yourself. Yeah. And it's not about necessarily just surrounding yourself around people that can pour into you. It's not about taking. It's you're being able to add value to that tribe as well. So it's not, you want to get in a tribe of people that are on the same page, on the same path as you. But you also have to realize you bring a piece to that. You bring some value to that tribe too. You don't want to be this person that's just a constant taker and you're not giving anything. And so part of that will be you growing as you're in that tribe, so you can also add value and not just be a taker. I love it. I love it. We're talking about, guys, for those of you who are just jumping in, maybe this is a replay for you. Do me a favor, huge favor, share this out. But we're talking about 3 secrets to making the relationship last. We'll run them real quick, Cherie. I know you got something. 1, focus on value. Focus on value. Number 2 is spend time. These are 3 secrets in order to be able to make relationships last. And number 3, we said you need to find or build a tribe. Right. And I just had a thought when I was thinking about building a tribe or finding a tribe. If you think about tribes in the literal sense, you know, in these indigenous areas where they have tribes, everybody in the tribe has a job. Mm-hmm. Everybody plays a part, but collectively, they're able to survive. They're able to thrive because collectively everybody contributes. I'm about to bust you in the head with this cup. I'm about to bust you in the head. That's good stuff. And so you have to look at, you're building a tribe of people that you can collectively all succeed in whatever that area is, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in business, whatever that is. The goal is it's a collective group of people coming together, all focused on one goal. Yeah. And then when that goal is met for an individual, it's really met for the team. For everybody. You celebrate everybody's wins. It's not about, okay,
my business is doing great, but their business not doing good. No, we're all in this together. Yeah, we all have our separate, even with relationships. Everybody in our group has their own family. But when one person wins in a relationship, we all win because we all celebrate it. When somebody's going through, we all go through because we're all there to support one another, to be able to, help each other grow, to lift each other up. And that's the whole purpose of having a tribe. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I know that Sydney is chiming in. She's saying that is so key. Too often we tend to stay in the comfort zone of people just like us.
Right. Because you don't want to be challenged.
Absolutely. And she goes on to say, and we need to seek out others, not necessarily like us, because that's, to me, that's what you call shooting the gap.
Right.
That's what you call bridging the gap, making sure that you can get from one place to another. It's those people who are there to add value to you guys that you just would not get by yourself. Tiara says, I'm so thankful for our MAPS tribe. Me too, Tiara. I'm grateful for this group of people that we've created that really has designed. God, I think, kind of brought us all together and really put us all in the same room because we all need each other on some level. Eric is so stupid. He said, look, shout out to Maps. Auntie Cherie going in the day. Yes, I'm adopted myself to the fan. I know that's right, Eric. Eric Jones, shout out to Maps. He's a part of the Maps community, obviously. Right. And to my Auntie Cherie. No, Joy is saying that's good stuff. Nikki is saying yes, that's great, guys. And then Joy said, team together, everyone achieves more.
Yes,
team together, everyone achieves more. I love that, Joy. But at the end of the day, guys, here's what I know to be true. If you are trying to do anything of significance, anything, I don't care if it's traveling from Norfolk, Virginia to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Cherie couldn't do that by herself.
Right.
She needed an Uber to take her from the house to the airport. She needed the airplane to take her from the airport to the airport. And thank God she needed her husband to pick her up from that airport and get her here.
Right.
At the end of the day, when you are trying to do something of significance, in that case, travel, almost 600 miles, you are going to need some help.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to make your relationships last, if you're trying to make them grow, if you want to understand the difference and the significance of being able to do that, you need to really, really key in on these 3 secrets, guys, to making the relationship work. You have to focus on the values that you have. What are your values? Identifying them. Are there any ones that you share? Because it's the mutual values of the relationship that's going to sustain it, not the mutual interest.
Right.
Number 2, you need to
spend time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. She's running a little slow today.
I'm having a hot.
That's okay. I got you, baby. Spend time. There is an intrinsic value in spending quality and quantity time. And number 3,
find or build a tribe in order to get where you want. You cannot. Can you scroll it up so I can read it?
Yes. I'm so sorry.
You cannot do it by yourself. Number 3, again, find or build a tribe. In order to get to where you want, you cannot do it by yourself. We all need some help.
At the end of the day, guys, hashtag we all need some help.
I need some help right now.
We'll catch you guys next week. We'll be right back here. Do me a favor. Be sure to catch us today at 1 p.m. On, I can't think of the name.
WAEN TV.
WAEN.
Come back to the replay in about 5 minutes. I'm going to post everything in the comments so you'll have it so that you know where to go to come join us.
And we're going to share it out all morning.
Right. So if you're here in Atlanta, we're also going to put the information out for the MAPS meetup on Sunday at Blueprint Church's Church in the Park.
Yep.
And you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah. Bye. We supposed to.
Hashtag
we all need some help. We so silly. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here too.